we're not going to spend a ton of time on Epstein. The two-way community, I would say, scientifically is badly divided. Some of you would like the entire hour on Epstein, and some of you sent me some lovely emails over the weekend saying you will never watch
Did
the
they have
show as long
did
as
they
we
have
talk about it.
emojis in them?
Some of them had emojis. There's some face emojis that I don't know, and I have to like use AI to determine what the person's actually saying. In any
Mark, I
event,
think you should do a coffee table book for the merch shop of the emails you get.
yeah, that would
The
be
best
good.
of.
Dan, just forward looking, what are you looking to have happen next? What are you curious about next on the Epstein matter, on the legal front or the political front or the president's True Social account?
Yeah, I from most accounts, there are more stories about Trump and Epstein to come that will be shed new light on their relationship.
Interesting. Sean, what are you looking for?
Whether I felt like the weekend was, I keep talking about oxygen in a crisis, and I felt like this weekend the oxygen was going out and out of the room. And so the question is, does something today, if you use the example that I gave, 72 hours, you can snuff the fire out. If nothing happens today, I think there'll be some embers, but I think this might be the end of it. So what I'm looking for, does anyone step in something today that reignites it?
And is that why Trump was truthing up a storm, trying to get shiny balls in every direction?
He was throwing shiny balls of spaghetti up against the wall to see what would stick and distract. Two things for me. One is I want to see what the MAGA talkers who have daily shows do today.
Yep.
Are they on Epstein or not? And the other is Maxwell and whether there's a real move to get her to testify or not.
That to me, that goes back to my fire thing. I think everybody snuffed out it's not a good idea. I mean, everyone who wants this story to end was like, stop talking about her. And so to your point, if somebody brings it up today of significance, somebody like a committee chair, then that's different. But I feel like, I feel like they all weekend, no one brought it up again, at least of significance. And so those are those tells. If that happens, they got a problem.
Yeah. So one group that can bring it up would be the Democrats. And of course, they're in the minority. They don't have as big a chance to keep it alive. They can't give Maxwell immunity, for instance. But some reporters have started to push back on Democrats and ask the question, if this is such an important moral issue, what did you do during the 4 years that Joe Biden was in office? Here is Jake Tapper asking Amy Klobuchar that question on yesterday's State of the Union.
President Trump posted on Truth Social Friday, quote, if there was a smoking gun in Epstein, why didn't the Democrats who controlled the files for 4 years and had Garland and Comey in charge use it because they had nothing, unquote. After the Miami Herald story broke in 2018, you said there was something not right in the Epstein case. But it's true that the president says there, Democrats didn't really seem to do anything about the Epstein files throughout the 4 years of the Biden administration. I mean, should you have? You sit on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator Marsha Blackburn for years has been trying to get flight records and other information about Epstein released, and she seems to have been the only one on that committee trying to do so.
So the president blaming Democrats for this disaster, Jake, is like that CEO that got caught on camera blaming Coldplay, okay? Like, this is his making. He was president when Epstein got indicted for these charges and went to prison. He was president when Epstein committed suicide. And then there was another case, as you know, that continued during the Biden administration. But he was president back then, so all of us would believe they know what's in these documents. They know it's there. They've been claiming forever that they should be released. And it is the Trump administration that gave a bunch of binders that said Volume 1 to reporters just in the last month. It is the Trump administration that has made this promise that they're going to release it. So I am blaming Democrats for this. To me, I'm sorry, this is the people that have been fomenting this are right-wing influencers, members of Congress, people who have a reason that they want to know what's in there. They believe the president.
So very good question by Jake Tapper. Ridiculous answer with a clever soundbite that got picked up all over the place, but non-responsive. And of course, Tapper didn't follow up. So Democrats are not the ones in the hot seat on this, but they are the ones trying to drive it. And Joe Scarborough last week asked Jamie Raskin the same question and did follow up. And Jamie's response, I'll summarize, was humana, humana, humana. So Dan, can Democrats keep trying to have moral authority on this, or is the press on to them and they won't be able to drive this story?
No, absolutely. They can keep having moral authority because, look, Klobuchar's answer was jumbled, but the bottom line is Democrats did not see a deep state. Democratic supporters were not clamoring for this. The reason that this issue is kicked around for the last 7 or 8 years is on the right, there is this view that the government is full of deep state Democrats and liberals who are, hiding all sorts of stuff, Pizzagate, the one conspiracy theory after the other. And so, as Klobuchar is right, like you make the stew, now you got to kind of deal with it. And so Democrats are piling on. That's politics. Just the bottom line.
Sean.
Look, multiple things can be true at once. One, it was a good question that is relevant. Why didn't it get brought up for 4 years? But I think Dan's analysis is spot on, which is because this wasn't their priority. They weren't milking it. They were happy with the files being, for a million possible reasons that we've covered and we don't need to go into again. Two, I think, look, I'll give Amy Klobuchar credit. I know her a little. She's witty. She's funny. I don't know if that was her staff or her, but it was a perfect answer. And you're right, Mark. What happened is it took a question that was smart, on point, and twisted it to like the funniest line of the Sunday shows, which isn't really a high bar. But the bottom line is that's what everybody talked about. And I think she played it well. If you're going to obfuscate well and funny. And she did. So I'll give her credit on that. But then to your point, Tapper should have said, that's good, that's cute. But the bottom line is, did you? And he failed, which is no shocker either. So, that's the beauty of this. And the reality sometimes in an issue like this is politically it matters where you sit. And yes, all that stuff is true, but she was right that we brought the binders out. We talked about what was out there and that we were going to do it. And so the onus does shift to the Republican side.
Want more great clips like that? I've got an idea. Hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss a clip. And you can always watch our full episodes, join them live, go to twoway.tv.